That's a great question, and it's almost poetic that we're here today. This idea was this idea originated between the time that Trump was elected and was inaugurated. If you remember, we had a One Providence initiative. Essentially, what we did is we looked at all of the people that Trump offended as a candidate, and every single week between the election and inauguration, we rolled out a new policy, a new initiative that spoke to those folks. And that's when I announced that we were going to pursue a municipal ID program to let folks know that regardless of the madness that is federal government, particularly on immigration, that we were going to do everything that we could to make sure that people felt included and a part of our community. And so that was a year and a half ago. We stand here today on the same day that the Supreme Court has approved the Trump administration's refugee policy, which is yet again another message to the immigrant community, to foreigners, folks who don't fit the archetypical American sort of view or frame, that they're no longer wanted here in the country. But once again, you see communities at the local level paving the way. You see, here at the local level, we don't have the luxury, nor do we care to be ideological about things. I win nothing by simply winning an argument. Our challenge every day is to be practical and to find solutions to problems. And we've identified many of the problems that residents right here in our community face. So if you don't have an ID card, you don't feel comfortable going to your local law enforcement agents, then we're all worse off. God forbid any one of us is a victim of a crime. We want to make sure that whoever witnessed it feels comfortable stepping up. Well, by sending this message that they're part of our community, that makes us all safer because it makes it much more likely that they will step up. I also mentioned the example of a father picking up their young child at school. We want to make sure that that person has access to an ID so that we can verify that that person is who they are, and they can pick up their sick child from school. To the extent that people go further underground, they're afraid to send their kids to school, they're afraid to show up for court appointments, they're afraid to call the police department. In none of those ways are they better off or are we better off. So that's where the genesis of this program comes from, and that's why we think it's so important to send that message at the local level, that they're part of our community and that we have their back. We've adopted best practices from other programs, from municipal programs and other ID programs in other cities. That's part of the reason why our policy is that you have to come with that paperwork to City Hall. However, we don't make copies of it. We review it and verify that you are the person who you and the documents say it is. But after that, we don't maintain a record. That's one. The second thing is that this is available to every single resident, not just undocumented immigrants. So we're very careful to not create a list of everyone who is undocumented. I was one of the first to get my own ID card, and that's why there are privileges and benefits such as discounts at local businesses. It functions as your library card. Hopefully it will also function as a RIPTA bus pass sometime soon. So there are a number of benefits to encourage the entire community to get their own ID PVD, and it's with that concern in mind. So we've learned a great deal from the best practices of other cities that have adopted this, and we've carefully researched it so that we're adopting all of those best practices. Last, and I think it's important to underscore that this program complies with the very exacting standards of the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators security standards. And so you have to provide the same proof that you would for any other government-issued ID. The key difference is that we don't ask whether you are a undocumented immigrant or not.